final chapter. We're getting close to the end now. I hope you're still there. Well, otherwise, why would I be saying this? So I guess you are still there. Thank you for that. For some reason I do appreciate your attention. So the final details, it's once more the check of how everything is in order or not. So I know in between explanations and episodes, I did some corrections, of course, to the hair, to the background, and also to the dress, which is more or less this quite silver, bluish gray. It makes the painting all the more compact and focus on the main element, the face. So doing the highlights. They are, after all, still in need some extra light. This happens with titanium white every now and then. It's just when it dries, it gets a bit darker. It's quite common. Don't worry about it. And also this lip once more. I'm using my fingers every now and then, as you can tell. It's force of habit, I guess. There's no reason why I should. Then again, it might be just time efficient. So, as you can tell, I'm taking some yellow ochre and some white, and I'm going to paint the bright spots of the skin on the left side. I thought it needs a bit of a yellowish shade to it at some point, in some places. Not all over it, just there where it's needed. Over here on top of the forehead, he has this scar. I made it quite subtle, but it's there. It's polymer, so I don't think it would be a wise idea to remove it just because it's more aesthetic or anything. I think it should be there. Yeah, it's still moving into this area around the corner of the mouth. It seems to be this part over here where I'm working right now is still bugging me. I've done a lot of work over there in the course of time. Other parts have been less difficult. I have this curly way of applying the paint right now. I'm doing it very carefully, not too thick, so it's almost like just a small dot of paint on the brush, and then I try to divide it over the panel. It's time to check what's happening. Check my Facebook updates. Yeah, that's right. That's what it was missing. Some more brightness over there. Otherwise the chin would be falling too far back. And the face would be of a different person. You can see this vertical stripe on her forehead. It's part of the cast shadow of her hair for some reason. There, on her lower eyelid, I'm trying to add some white. As well as over here, but to a lesser extent. So I first do it on the left, and then when there are leftovers, I do it on the right. In this, I'm very pragmatic, so to say. So the mouth needs some fresh red. And sometimes it dries in a bit, the color. Then I stick my brush in it and it will open up for me. I'm not babbling in this video, am I? Or you can see, of course, but I think I'm not. I've noticed that the recordings are shit, so... sorry. Actually, I did not do too much work on the eyebrow as such. I just left them there, and every now and then I just changed the size of them. And for some reason, they turned out quite well. I'm not really that disappointed about them. So, what should you address when painting details? Are there like things you need to work into? Like, do you really need like every pore of the skin, or like every crease in the mouth? What do you need? I would recommend to take a look from a certain distance, at least 2 meters or something. So 6 feet, to just look and see if there is anything that really needs our attention, needs the attention. In general, you want people to focus on the area of the face. So if you paint the face very well and the hair, you can actually just leave the background somewhat more painterly, as well as the clothes. But how far should you go on the face? Well, in portraiture, there is one thing you need to keep in mind, is that there must be a likeness. And that's the most important thing. So if you achieve the likeness in a more painterly way, then it's just fine. It's excellent. You just leave it like that, you know. But if you really want to work into this hyper-realistic detail, then there's also nothing against it from my point of view, although it costs a lot of time. You know? You might have discovered that I myself am more of a painterly person. You can clearly just distinguish the brushstrokes if you look at the hair, for example. And down here, this area needs some work as well, because you have the her neck, and then it goes towards the area of the breast, so to say. So there is also some attention going towards it, but in this case it's a bit darker, so it might be less. I'm still trying to apply. Yeah, I think right now it's getting better in mouth. Yeah. Also over here, this dark shadow underneath her eyes is a very difficult one. It needs to be there, but it mustn't be too intense, but also, on the other hand, it shouldn't be too subtle either. Sienna. Right. I'm just thinking about the torso part, how to deal with it. So first I'm going to just give it a go with a lot of white. And if I add some more burnt sienna into it, it will immediately just mix in with the background color that was already standing there for a while, which is dry. This area over there where this darker spot is, it's I think it's part of the bone. How do you call this? This bone that's there. It's not the shoulder bone. I don't know, but it's part of that one. Because there's always this kind of dent in it where between the left and the right bone. So if you're painting an older person with more wrinkles and stuff, I would just advise not to make those wrinkles too dark or so. Because it's better to work with a sort of basic warm color and then paint the skin layers between or next to the wrinkles on top of them. That looks more natural than painting the wrinkles separately dark into the skin. It's the other way around, so to say. In this case, we don't have that many wrinkles. We can deal with some natural ones around the eye, but nothing special. Give her a bit of extra cheek. Shouldn't be as bright as the highlights though. Although it's difficult to tell when you watch this video how it's in natural lighting condition, because this video is of course just a mere representation of what light can do, but it's somewhat over dramatized maybe. I did some corrections to the video, but still it might be a bit off, so to say. Oh, still the filter. Snot gutter. A bit of red in it. Sometimes just a few minor brush strokes do the trick, but in this stage it's all just subtle, minor corrections. And sometimes it happens that you just think you're finished, and then all of a sudden, after months standing in your studio, you find that the painting is missing some key element. I just did the nostril a bit with extra pinkish hue. So the shapes of the eyelids need to correspond, of course, because if on one side they're bigger than on the other side, it doesn't look that well, you know. Unless, of course, it's the general condition of a certain person, then it's fine. The thing is that at a certain point when you're painting these small corrections, you don't see that much happening. But maybe if you rewind this this episode, you will see some changes. Not too dramatic, of course, but they are there. Yeah. So you can still tell the scar apart, but it's subtle. It's as it's supposed to be. And with lots of sienna, you can just adjust the layers over here, smooth them out a bit. This is one spot I can still work on over there. There is this area where there is still light coming through between the hair. So, if you are, after watching this, if you are somehow stuck with questions or anything, just please ask them. You can send me a message, or maybe you are even interested in real life painting class. You can check my website. You will find the info right here. Or I also have some instruction videos about water painting that are for sale. So if you are interested in that, just contact me and I will send you the download link after payment. Thank you for watching this